Wait until you hear what this dog did when nobody was watching. You know that feeling when you have to leave your pet behind? That gut-wrenching moment when you're packing your suitcase and they're just sitting there looking at you with those eyes? Well, what happened to the Morrison family will change the way you think about your furry friends forever. Before we dive into this incredible story, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Trust me, you don't want to miss stories like this. And ring that notification bell, because what you're about to discover will absolutely blow your mind. So picture this. The Morrison family from Colorado had been planning their dream vacation for months, 2 weeks in Hawaii. The beaches, the sunshine, the relaxation they desperately needed. But there was one problem. One big, fluffy problem named Max. Max was their 7-year-old golden retriever. And if you've ever owned a golden retriever, you know exactly what I'm talking about. These dogs are basically made of pure love and loyalty. They're the kind of dogs that follow you from room to room, just wanting to be near you. They're your shadow, your best friend, your constant companion. Now, the Morrisons had a dilemma. They couldn't take Max with them. The flight was too long, the hotel didn't allow pets, and honestly, they thought Max would be more comfortable in his own home. So they made arrangements. They hired a pet sitter who would come twice a day to feed Max, walk him, and give him some attention. They set up cameras throughout the house, just to check in and make sure everything was okay. But here's where things get interesting, and I mean really interesting. Keep watching, because what these cameras captured is something you won't believe. The first day of their vacation, everything seemed normal. The pet sitter came in the morning, fed Max, took him for a walk. Max seemed okay, maybe a little confused, but okay. The Morrisons checked the camera footage that evening from their hotel room and felt relieved. Max was fine. He was lying on his favorite spot on the couch, just chilling. Day 2, same thing. Max ate his breakfast, went for his walk, came back home. But Sarah Morrison, the mom, noticed something different. When she watched the footage, she saw Max sitting by the front door, not just sitting, waiting. His eyes fixed on that door like he was expecting someone to walk through it any second. And this is where your heart is going to start breaking a little bit. Stay with me here. By day 3, the pattern became clear. Every single time the pet sitter left, Max would go straight to that front door. He would sit there for hours, just waiting. Sometimes he'd lie down, but his head would always be facing the door. His ears would perk up at every single sound, every car that drove by, every footstep in the hallway, every tiny noise made Max think his family was coming home. But it gets deeper than that, way deeper. Sarah started watching the footage more carefully. She began noticing things that made her chest tight. At night, when Max thought nobody was watching, he would walk around the house. He'd go to each family member's bedroom. He'd sniff their beds, their pillows, their clothes. He'd lie down in each room for a few minutes, like he was trying to feel close to them somehow. If you're a pet owner, smash that like button right now, because you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if this is hitting you right in the feels, leave a comment below about your own pet. I want to hear your stories. But the Morrison family wasn't prepared for what happened on day 7. The middle of their vacation, the day that changed everything. That morning, the pet sitter arrived as usual. Fed Max, took him out, everything normal, but when she left and closed that door, something different happened. Max didn't just go to his waiting spot by the door. He did something that made Sarah Morrison burst into tears right there in her Hawaiian hotel room. Max went to the coat closet. He somehow managed to open it, and he pulled out Mr. Morrison's jacket, the one he wore every single day. Max dragged that jacket to his bed, and he curled up with it. He buried his nose in it, wrapped his paws around it, and just laid there. For hours, Sarah was watching this live. She called her husband over. They both just stood there, watching their dog trying to comfort himself with the smell of his dad's jacket. They watched as Max would occasionally lift his head, look toward the door, then nuzzle back into that jacket like it was the closest thing to a hug he could get. And I need to pause here for a second. If you're not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. We share stories like this all the time, stories that remind us what really matters in life. And believe me, this story is about to get even more emotional. The next few days were torture for the Morrison family. They continued watching the cameras, and every day broke their hearts a little more. Max had created a routine. He'd eat his breakfast, wait by the door for a few hours, then he'd go get that jacket and curl up with it. Sometimes he'd walk to the window and just stare outside, like he was searching for their car. But here's the thing that really got to them, the thing that made them question everything. On day 10, they watched Max do something they'd never seen before. The pet sitter had just left, and instead of his usual routine, Max went to the toy basket. He pulled out every single toy that belonged to each family member. The daughter's pink squeaky ball, the son's frisbee, Sarah's rope toy, Mr. Morrison's tennis ball. Max carefully arranged all these toys in a circle around him in the living room, and he just sat in the middle of them. It was like he was trying to recreate his family, trying to bring them all together in the only way he knew how. Sarah couldn't take it anymore. She looked at her husband and said 5 words: "We need to go home." They cut their vacation short, booked the first flight back to Colorado. They didn't tell the pet sitter, they didn't tell anyone. They wanted to surprise Max. But more than that, they needed to see their dog. They needed to hold him and tell him they were sorry for leaving him. Now here comes the part that's going to absolutely wreck you. Make sure you keep watching because this ending is something special. When they pulled into their driveway at 3 in the morning, they could see Max through the window. He was in his usual spot, lying with Mr. Morrison's jacket, surrounded by all those toys. They opened the front door as quietly as they could, and here's what happened next. Max's ears perked up. He lifted his head, and for a split second, he just froze. Like he couldn't believe what he was hearing, what he was smelling. Then he saw them. What happened next was pure, unfiltered joy. Max didn't just run to them, he practically flew. He was jumping, spinning, crying, barking, licking, tail wagging so hard his entire body was shaking. He kept running from person to person, like he needed to touch each of them to make sure they were real. The kids were crying. Sarah was crying. Even Mr. Morrison, who never cries, had tears streaming down his face. But the most beautiful part? Max ran back to get that jacket. He brought it to Mr. Morrison and dropped it at his feet, like he was saying, "This helped me while you were gone, but I don't need it anymore. You're here now." They spent the next hour just sitting on the floor with Max. All of them together, just like Max had tried to recreate with those toys. And in that moment, the Morrison family made a promise. They would never leave Max alone like that again, not for that long, not when they could see how much it affected him. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button. Share this video with every pet owner you know, because we need to remember how much our pets truly love us. They don't understand where we go or why we leave. They just know that their whole world is gone, and they have to wait and hope that we come back. Here's the truth that a lot of us don't like to think about. To us, our pets are just a part of our lives. We have jobs, friends, hobbies, vacations, but to our pets, we are their entire life. We are their whole world. Every single second we're gone, they're waiting, they're hoping. They're missing us with an intensity that we can barely comprehend. The Morrison family learned this lesson in the most heart-wrenching way possible. Those cameras didn't just show them what Max did when they were gone. They showed them the depth of loyalty, the purity of love, and the pain of separation that our pets experience. Since that vacation, the Morrisons have made some changes. When they travel now, they take Max with them if possible. If they can't, they limit their trips to just a few days, and they have family members stay at the house so Max is never truly alone. They also spend more intentional time with him every single day, because they realize something important. Time with our pets is limited. Every day is precious. Every moment matters. So before you go, I want to ask you something. Leave a comment below and tell me, how long is the longest you've left your pet alone? And after hearing this story, would you do anything differently? I read every single comment, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. And remember, if you love stories about the incredible bond between humans and their pets, make sure you're subscribed to this channel with notifications turned on. We share these heartwarming, emotional, life-changing stories all the time, because at the end of the day, these aren't just pet stories. They're stories about love, loyalty, and the purest form of devotion that exists in this world. What would your pet do if you left them alone? Think about it, and maybe tonight give them an extra hug. They deserve it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.